Other than that, the knowledge of curing various diseases diseases. Yes, it had. But then now why you are telling that certain level take this from data. So even in those days also, referring a patient to a right doctor was considered to be one of the qualities that the doctor should. So when the doctor knows his limitations, he needs to accept those kinds of patients only. Whatever is permissible in his limits, he has to treat. Otherwise, it has to be referred to a right person where he is. So this was documented in Ayurveda thousands of years. Yeah. So I am yeah. So that is the basic. Yeah. But I think it is there are four categories when it comes to the prognosis of the disease. So they say sadhya, asadhya. It is safe, curable, not so sadhya also they classify as two. Kashta sadhya and easily treated. So Kashta sadhya is difficult but can be cured, and Sutta sadhya is like easily curable. In not curable, they say that it can be managed, it cannot be cured, which is like a life. Now, what has happened is it's more like a patient-centric thing. Some people say that, okay, we are ready to face any complications that are coming. You can treat them. So good evening. So let's go through this topic. As I was telling you, it's like a very gray area. So please bear. Before we start into, we'll just have a little more in-depth information as what Ayurveda is. Yes, yesterday Dr. Belaku mentioned a few points, but let's go a little more deeper to understand the dosha concept. So, as you know, it is defined with two words, Ayu and Veda. Ayu means the life, Veda is the knowledge. So all the Ayurveda texts are written in Sanskrit. And we have the translations available now because like we are not well versed in Sanskrit. So the first two lines are the definition of Ayurveda. It is called as Hitahitam, Sukham, Dukkham, Ayustasya, Hitahitam, Manam cha tacha Yoktam Ayurveda Sarchate. So what Ayurveda is it's a science which describes what is beneficial and what is non-beneficial to us. And it also tells us what gives us pain and happiness and in what quality and form. So they go to the very depth of saying what is good, what is not good, what makes us happy, what makes us into misery, and how it has to be managed. As I was telling you, we'll get into a little more depth. That's the very superficial meaning of Ayurveda. So Ayu, it literally means Ingata, which means that which is into a constant movement. It is always changing. It is dynamic and it can disappear also. So life is limited. It is a continuous process of destruction. Each day we are dying and getting reborn the next day. Every minute we are dying and getting reborn. So it is a continuous dynamic change which is moving. And where is it moving to? It is moving to our death. So life is like a limited span of life or the frame of time that we have. And each day we are nearing to the death. So that is what is the broader meaning of Ayurveda. In Taoist, that switches into constant dynamic movement. And knowledge or the Veda is like a very wholesome science. It is not like, okay, they have told, we have to believe me. They have told what is existing, and we can really conceptualize what is said in the Vedas. We can analyze, implement it, and then we see the results. It's not just we are blindly following the Vedas. So Veda is such a rich science that everything is existing. We need to just interpret and understand, analyze, accept, and definitely are going to get the good results out of accepting and adapting those instances mentioned in the Ayurveda. So which is like an actual fact. So Ayurveda is basically defined as to adapt the measures which can make us go through the lifespan itself. So it is not enriching our lifespan. It is like we have a lifespan. How we can have a good lifespan which is disease-free, which is preserving our positive health is what Ayurveda says. So the basic aim of Ayurveda is swasthasya swastha rakshana, which is preserve and promote the positive health. Whereby there are 3 phases as how we can preserve. As I was telling you, we are into a continuous phase of destruction. There is deterioration in the body that is happening. There is deterioration in each and every cell happening. So the survival should be at the cellular level, whereby we need to rejuvenate each and every cell that is in the body, whereby we are rejuvenating a person. And also Ayurveda believes in the spiritual aspect, which is the cycle of birth. So if it is short, yes.
I think, like, first it's
that we will come to as how the dosha aspect happens. But whatever it is towards the death. We have completed 1 year, we are minusing 1 year. That's theoretically our second birthday minus 2 years. So that is always there because the childhood is the growing age, the stability is the phase in our mid age, and then it is the phase wherein there is destruction. That destruction is there, but it is not always destruction there also. It is a balance as how we are having these building up properties and how the destruction properties. When you are building up properties is always good and the destruction is less, your aging is not seen. You will have a graceful aging. But when the destruction is more and the buildup is less, that is when the aging reflects on us in the form of diseases. And what controls this is nothing but the doshas. And that is through our lifestyle. So we need to have this graph of increasing the building up tissues in the body, slowing down the degradation, whereby our positive health is retained. And this is basically with the lifestyle, the daily regimen and the seasonal regimen. So this survival has to happen at the 3 levels. So the cellular level, the organism level, and the spiritual level. And the secondary aspect of Ayurveda is curative. So Ayurveda is not a medical science to cure diseases. It is a science which tells us, yes, you are here, preserve your health, promote your health, whereby your quality of health is better and the lifespan continues more comfortably. So that is the main aim of Ayurveda. And why we need a positive health. In our Hindu philosophy, we have this concept of dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So to achieve this dharma, artha, kama, moksha, the health is very important. If we don't have positive health, we cannot achieve this. And these are called as the purusharthas. Like every person has an ambition. So to fulfill these ambitions, the health is very, very important. And it is said that the first thing they say is dharma. follow the richest path. So whatever you're doing, a right path is what safeguards us. Because we have the baggage that we have carried from the previous birth. It's not like just we are here. No, we are here for a purpose. And that purpose is carried on us from the previous. So adding on right things in this phase of life makes us have a better life. And this life is not the real next life. It can be a better tomorrow. Doing good things today can have a better tomorrow. So dharma, then they say about artha. Artha is earning well. So we have to follow a right path in earning well, understand how much we need. Accumulation is the cause for the diseases. And kama, have all your sense organs under your control. Don't have or let the sense organs go in its way. If that has happened, it leads to stress on the mind. And when the mind is stressed, the body is stressed. Moksha, it is the ultimate bliss or the happiness or like the microcosm getting in with the macrocosm, what we call it. So it is to expand our consciousness. We need to be productive. We need to be contributive. And through this, we have to have a self-evolution in ourselves, whereby we will be having an enriched purusharthas in our life and having a positive health, achieve these very easily. And it's always said that add life to your years, not years to the life. So make it healthy by adding good things into the daily activities. So we spoke about what health is, but now let's get into the definition of health. So WHO has given us the definition of health very recently on the very similar grounds. They had to revise the definition of health. They had left out the social thing and the spiritual thing, but now they have added it. But this definition of Ayurveda was given to us thousands of years ago, which made it as a very complete information about the health, which is called as Samadosha, Samadhyascha, Samadhatu, Malakriyana, Prasanna, Atma, Indriya, Manaha, Swasthya, Ityadhyate. So it says that health is a balanced state of doshas. So we have three doshas, which is Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, a balanced state of three doshas, Sama, Agni. So Ayurveda believes that there are 13 Agnis in the body. It's not just the digestive fire at the digestive system of the stomach. There are 13 Agnis that we believe is there in the body. And a balanced state of these 13 Agnis is very important. Samadhatu, as how the conventional science have these systems, like the circulatory system, the muscular system, the skeletal system. Our concept is with dhatus. So we are structurally built with 7 dhatus. And the balanced state of these 7 dhatus is very important. And they say about the excretion also. So balanced excretion, which is like the species, urination, and the sweat, they are defined as what is a right formation of stools. When is the stool called healthy? When is the stool unhealthy? So what are the symptoms of the sweat? What are the properties? What are the deviations? So all these are dealt in Ayurveda to say that a balanced excretion is also important to maintain the positive health. This goes at the physical level, but they go ahead to say as how the mind and the relationship with the supreme soul has to be, which says that equilibrium on the manas, atma, and the indriya is very, very important. Manas is the mind, Atma is the soul or the complete supreme who is guarding us, and the sensory faculty is our sense organs. So a balance of sense organs, mind, and Atma is very, very important. So Ayurveda is a very unique science, and as we discussed, it comes from the holy books of the Vedas. Ayurveda is believed to be a branch of or a part of the Atharva Veda. But there are some other qualities which makes Ayurveda unique. So it is eternal, there is no end to it. So it has been existing for so many years and there is no end to it. So at one instance, the authors, like we have 3 basic books of references, which is Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and Ashtanga Sangha Abhidhaya. So at one place, the Rishis says, okay, this is all my knowledge. Anybody interested to add anything can be added to the Ayurveda. but till now, nobody has added anything into the Ayurveda subjects. It's all like whatever has been there is there. But he says that it is endless. Anything anybody can add. And there is no start to it. It's always existing. It is endless. And this treats the individual as a complete person and not just treating his ailments. So we don't treat a person for his acidity. We don't treat a person for his muscle, bone, joints pain. We condense the whole person as an entity of the mind-body relationship and then try to have the treatments done for him. So it looks at a person in a complete way as a complete individual. And here it is not a symptomatic treatment. It goes to identifying what the root cause of the disease is and try to correct the root cause whereby the disease is corrected. So that is how your lifestyle, the food habits becomes important because most of the health concerns are because of the disturbances in the lifestyle. So if we get down to the gross root level as what the cause is, we can treat the disease completely. So what basic principles revolves around this is Panchamahabhutas. So the microcosm and the microcosm. And these Panchamahabhutas are reduced into the form of three doshas. So these five are reduced into the three doshas, wherein the ether and the air forms Vata, the water and the fire forms Pitta, the water and the earth forms the Kapha. So that is how they get their properties, which we will discuss. And again, the Panchamahabhutas are responsible for the formation of the dhatus, the body tissues, the physical structures, as I was telling you. And again, Panchamahabhutas goes to the formation of Mala and the Agni. So these are the basic principles that is considered during the treatments or the maintenance of the health. So the very definition of the body, body is called as Sharira in Sanskrit, and it is defined as Shiryate iti Shariram. Shiryate is that which is going through a process of destruction. So it is a continuous process of destruction or deterioration. And as Sir mentioned, it's not like deterioration. So it says as building and breaking. So always our building principle has to be high and the breaking has to be low. So the physical body is going through the process of constant destruction and rejuvenation at its own pace. And that again depends on the individual. And this is what we call as aging. Hope I'm clear and I'm not fast. So what is the reason for all these things? They are nothing but the three doshas. So the three doshas are the Vata, Pitta, and the Kapha. As I was telling you, it comes from the combinations of the Panchamahabhutas. Vata is a combination of ether and air, Pitta, the fire and water, Kapha, the water and earth. So that's how we can think about as how their properties is going to be. So Vata is always light, Pitta is moderate, Kapha is because it gets the principles of water and earth. Ether and air is very light. So that's how air or Vata is always mobile. Pitta falls somewhere in between. So what is dosha? Let's get into the topic. So as we all, and we had the doubts, dosha is something which causes fault. Yes, that is true. That which is faulty is doshas, and that which spoils the other is also dosha. It is called as dushyate anena iti dosha. Dushyate is that which spoils the others. So here among three doshas, it is said that Vata, Pitta and Kapha. Vata is a dosha which could be responsible for giving an imbalance in the Pitta and the Kapha. Because Pitta and Kapha are a little more stable compared to Vata. So whenever there is a disturbance in the Vata, it can push Pitta and Kapha to get engaged. So this is one example. But again, doshas are responsible for causing imbalance in the dhatus and the agni. So doshas, when it gets disturbed because of our improper lifestyle, it will disturb the agni first, which is the digestive fire, and this agni disturbs the dhatus. So as I was telling you, there are 13 types of agni. Each dhatu has got its own digestive fire. So the food that we eat goes through the process of digestion in the stomach, And there it is differentiated into the base and the essence. The essence goes to nourish each and every dhatu in the body. So the essence cannot go and directly nourish the rasa dhatu. It has to go through a barrier to make it translate into a rasa form. So it goes through a process of digestion to nourish the rasa. Then again, rakta, which is the blood, has its own mechanism to digest the food. So that digestive fire has to be strong to digest the food to convert it into rasa. If that is not good, we can see people with the impurities in the blood, which will be reflected on the skin or the scalp. Similarly, the muscles, similarly, the fat. So when the fat is deranged, it is either overweight because whatever the food that we are getting, the Agni is not able to process. There is either extra or more less that is seen in the matters, which is reflected as like overweight or the low weight. And similarly, the bones. If the bone Agni or the fire in the bone is not strong enough, process its food, so it leads to osteoporosis or osteopenia, or it can lead to increased calcium deposits. So that is how the Agni at every dhatu level should be functioning. So Asti is bone. Majja and Shukra. Majja is correlated to the bone marrow, and Shukra is correlated to the reproductive elements. So that is how we can say the sperm and the ova health has to be good. So a person with infertility, or when we are treating a person with infertility, our basic concept is improve the digestive fire at the stomach and then improve the agnis of the dhatus, whereby the transformation of the production of their sperm and ovum will be in a very healthier way. And beyond this is the ojas. Ojas is the essence of all these dhatus, which can be correlated to the immunity. When a person has any allergic reactions or immunocompromised condition, we can say that it is the end of the body nourishment, which is not happening completely. Whereby we need to treat all these things, strengthen all the 7 dhatus, whereby the essence of all the 7 dhatus, which goes into the formation of the ojas, which is our immunity, gets stronger and it is weak. So that's how any allergic changes needs time to reverse it, because it has to go backwards to strengthen it.
Madam, the cycle is it autoimmune disease can be cured by the day?
Definitely. If a person with an autoimmune disease is following a regular Ayurveda regimen, he can definitely have a better immunity, whereby he can have a reversal in the condition. Reversal can be. But it requires a long-term treatments. Yes. And autoimmune again is the body is falling prey to itself. The body is not identifying its own cells as itself. It is trying to put it as a foreign thing. And that's how the treatment with the conventional sciences, they cut off. So they are giving immunocompromised drugs. So they give the things which doesn't recognize those cells as your body cells. But what we are trying to do is we are trying to strengthen the process that is happening in the body, whereby the grassroots level of strengthening the system is happening and the body embraces it. Which is identical. And again, if we go in what the cause of autoimmune diseases, slow Agni, and it is coming from the food. That's how previously the diseases were more of the communicable diseases that was taking the life of the people. And now it is the autoimmune diseases or the metabolic diseases, which is being so widespread among them. That is just because of the improper mix. Yes, we'll come to that. So the doshas are responsible for spoiling the dhatus in the body, and that is what causes the diseases. This is a tricky thing. Having a dosha in the balanced state is our life. When it is in its fault, it is giving us the illness. That's how I have kept a key point, as it is responsible for wellness and for illness. When it is in a balanced state, it protects our positive health. When it goes to imbalance, it causes the diseases. And there are very many translations as energy, tumor, etc. But let's not get into it. Let's identify dosha as a dosha itself. So it is basically the collection of the gunas of the nature. So the very definition of the dosha goes as it is a group of properties that carries vata, a group of properties that is identified as a pitta, and similarly a group of properties that gets identified as a kapha. So where are these three doshas situated in the body? So the tridosha is situated all over us, but they have got specific seats in the body. So if we consider the heart and the umbilicus to be the dividing lines, so the region above the heart is the seat of kapha. This region between the heart and the umbilicus is the seat of pitta, and below the umbilicus is the seat of vata. So, but the heavy thing is in the top. The lighter thing is at the bottom. The middle is the heat. So, and this can be correlated to as in our lifespan also. The childhood days is predominant with kapha, the mid-age with pitta, and the plus 60 with the predominance of vata.
So can we change
It is very dynamic. It can change on its own anytime.
daily basis?
Daily basis, every minute it can change. It is different before your food. It is different when you are eating your food. It is different after you have it. So it is very, very dynamic. It's not constant. And it has an influence on the season also. So they are given those spaces. But even when I say like above the heart is the seat for kapha, it's just not only the kapha. There are all the three doshas there, but predominant is kapha. Again here, there is all the three doshas, but predominant with pitta. Below the umbilicus, again three doshas. So as we understood, the doshas are nothing but a group of features that is attributed to it. So it properties of the vata goes as Tatra, Ruksho, Laghu, Shita, Kara, Sukshmaschalo, anything. Anything that is Ruksha, is dry in nature, is vata predominant. So if I have to correlate to a person having a dry skin, a dry hair, having dryness in his stools, constipation nature, all that is because of the vata. So it is these properties that identifies what dosha a person is predominant. Then laghu, anything that is light by weight. So it is all having the properties of the vata. Anything that is cold in nature has predominance of vata. Anything that is thara, ruksha and thara are similar. Ruksha is dry. Because of the dryness, it becomes rough. Anything with the roughness is because of vata. Sukshma, it has a very deep penetrating effect. Just as how air can penetrate everywhere, just similarly is vata. It has a very deep penetrating effect. And it is chala, that which is responsible for the movement. So anything that comes in our daily life, which has the properties of these, are categorized under vata predominant things. It can be a vata predominant food, it can be a vata predominant activity, it can be a vata predominant person who has all these nature. So what functions are attributed based on these properties of vata is enthusiasm. So it is sukshma and chala. Sukshma is penetrating, chala is movement. So definitely a person is going to be enthusiastic. So a person who is very enthusiastic makes us understand that he belongs to a vata category. And when a person who is enthusiastic, all of a sudden because of something becomes the other way, that he shows dullness, then we can identify that there is a difference in his balance. So he has deviated from his enthusiastic nature to a dull nature. So we need to identify the cause. And respiration. Respiration is movement. So because there is movement involved, respiration is attributed to vata. So it is not again just vata, it is all the three doshas, but dominant with vata. And any movement is because of this. And elimination of all the natural urges is governed by vata. So it is said that we have 13 natural urges which never should be controlled. So which is the urine, feces, the urge of the urine, feces, hunger, thirst, flatulence, sneezing, sleep, yawn, and belching. These should never be controlled. If it is controlled, it causes the vata imbalance. And then the vata is responsible for the normal functioning of all the dhatus. And it is responsible for the activities of the sense organs. So all these are the features that vata expresses. But there are certain other features. Light. So the popcorn or the puff grass. It is light vibing. So a vata person should reduce the intake of the popcorn. Or if he likes popcorn, he can season it with little ghee or oil to make it little heavy so that it doesn't aggravate his vata. So a person of vata constitution should have something in his food which is rich, which is heavy, and which is bulky to fulfill. Okay, so at the mind level, the anxiety or a depressed feeling, the fluctuation between two is because of vata. A feeling of insecurity, the restlessness, or the instability is because of. Hope I answered your question and how Laghu is translated to vata.
Like,
Light, yes.
choose rice.
Dry, yes. Shita is cold. So anything that is cold to touch aggravate vata. The cold season aggravates vata. It is fine, penetrating, and it is movement. So we say a vata person should not over-exercise because when he over-exercises, the chala guna of the vata increases the vata intake. And as such, the vata person will have less sleep and he feels restless. So those are the ways that we need to correlate. But it's very deeper thing.
Oh, instead. That affects.
Kapha. Yes. There are some properties which are shared among the doshas. So that's how it becomes very different. But
These are the. By taking the supplements, again, it becomes balanced.
correct, it will be balanced. Yes. That's how, like when a vata person has a rich food or when he's keeping himself warm, his vata can be balanced. When he goes out in a cold weather or when he eats something which is light or when he fasts, his vata aggravates. And his nature becomes very different at that time.
So cold drinks and ice creams.
In moderation. Because he is not only vata, he has other doshas also. So similar with pitta, it is said that pittam sasneha, it is greasy. Tikshna, it is very, very sharp. Very sharp at the mind, very sharp at the body as well. Ushna is the warm. His body temperature is always on the warmer side. And this also carries laghu. Visram it has an offensive odor. Sara, it is a fluid. And Dravam, it is liquid intake. The matter, like the states of matter, it is more like liquid. Vata is air. Kapha is something heavy and substratum. We can correlate it to either liquid or the solid. So the functions that is attributed to pitta is a good digestion, a normal body temperature. Because pitta people are always warm, while kapha and vata people are cold. Vision. The pitta is responsible for having our visual perception, not see visual perception. All thought process or any process that is happening in the body is attributed to the pitta. So vata is movement, pitta is the process, and kapha is the structural or the nourishing principle in the body. Hunger, thirst, taste perception again. So we just eat sweet, but to understand what sweet is, our pitta should function properly. The luster on the skin, the glow on the skin. Pitta people are always intelligent, brilliant, valour. They are very strong at mind. Their organs are very supple and they are moderately built. while Vata people are lean structured, Pitta are moderately built, and Kapha are a little on the heavier side. And at their mind, they are very critical, analytical, they get very angry easily, they are jealous, and they are.
Anybody may have all the three, or the few there.
They can both the three, but both the three, one will be predominant.
So there are three.
Three. There is nothing which cannot be without Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. Everything, as even like any object, is a combination of Panchamahabhutas. But what is predominant in it identifies as what it is. So I have all the three doshas. But what is the predominant dosha in me identifies what my constitution is. Because there cannot be anything without the combination of all the three. Everybody have all the three doshas, but one of it will be predominant, what they are identifying. So Kapha is the bulkier thing. Snigdha is Antas. They have a very smooth skin, they have a very glowing skin. Shita, again cold by touch. So Vata and Kapha shares the property. Guru is heavy. Manda is dull. It can be correlated to lethargy also. Slakshna is the sliminess. Mrutsna is the softness. Sthira is they are very grounded. And that is the property of Kapha. Slakshna is, it goes with Snigdha and Slakshna, which is the antasness, different grades of antasness. So the stability, the antasness, the unity in the joints, the tolerance, the strength comes from the Kapha. Kapha people are very possessive, they are very hearted people, and they are stubborn. So if I have to correlate to the movement of a joint, so the muscles helps in the movement. There has to be a language that is translated from my mind to the elbow to move it, that is happening from Pitta. And the lubricating fluid in my joint is making my joint move easy. So that is the example. So if you have to consider the digestive system, there is fire, there is water, and there is the mucous membrane, which takes care of the digestion. So coming to the Prakriti, Prakriti is the nature of the person, as what we are all talking about, a predominance of one type of doshas, which describes us. So Prakriti comes from two words, pra and kriti. Pra is first and creation. What we are born with identifies us with that specific energy in us, which is one among the three doshas. So the Prakriti would be what we are dominantly made up of, whether we are dominantly made up of Vata, Pitta, or Kapha. And it is the most appropriate physiological state in which that individual can function on. So we identify ourselves as Vata. So as I was telling you, a person who is enthusiastic, if we see a change in his enthusiasm, we have to identify that there is something wrong. That is what I mean by saying they can work to their optimum level when they are in their nature. When is Prakriti decided? That is decided at the time of our birth. Prakriti is the baseline of the balance that each individual can go back to achieve the highest possible health achievable by that individual. So everybody has got their unique optimum health. So the optimum health of A is different from B. He cannot say his optimum health has to be mine. No, that is how Ayurveda is doing. So it is their optimum health. So what decides our Prakriti? So at the time of conception, the Ritu, can I just take? Oh, what? So next 15 minutes. So the season is very, very important. And the kshetra, the health of a person and the health of the uterus is very important to have a good or desirable Prakriti. The Ambu is the nourishment of the mother, and bija is the health of the sperm and the ovum. So all these determines our constitution. So we are same but different in certain things. So Kshetra, oh Shira, sorry, Kshetra. Kshetra is the place. The uterus or a individual as well. So a female planning to conceive has to be healthy and have a healthy reproductive system. That's what Kshetra means. So we have to
Difficulty to live in another place.
correct.
Is it that?
That is not the Kshetra. That comes here. So this Kshetra is the health of the female. Ambu is the nutrition of the mother. Bija is the nature of the sperm and the ovum. So we are same, but there is something unique that each of us carry. As you were mentioning, it's the same thing that we come across. So that gets into the class of species. So people in the coastal area have a different set of body constitution compared to what a person in a like a marshy area could be or in a desert could be. So they have their own nature, what is called as Jati Prakriti. So in people living in the coastal belt, they have something similar in feature. Though they all have similar features in some things, they are very unique in their own things. And that is what is the Prakriti. And similarly, family. A person in the same family lineage, they have something in similar. And Kala, people staying or living in a specific frame of the years. So people living in 90s or people living in 20s, they have something similar in them. And again, Desh is the region. So these are common in us. So that's how we call it as generation gap. The Kala is important. So what our features and what the features of the next few years born are different because of the various factors. So those are all the similar we carry as our constitution, but we have something what is called as Vishesha, that is what identifies us with the specific region. So in Ayurveda, it is said that we have two different categories. So mind gunas and the body gunas. So we cannot change the body gunas, but we can change the mind gunas. So when we start changing the mind gunas, having known those defects, we can always have a better impact on the body and preserve the positive health of the body. So always when we identify ourselves with some disturbance, because of the vata that we are anxious, because of pitta that we are irritable or we are workaholic, or because of kapha we are very sedentary, inactive, then we have to identify ourselves, change the doshas at the mind level, and that will impact on the body. Because the body doshas can never change, but the mind doshas can be changed. And that's how we can have a better health. So can deal with our prakriti better with self-understanding and managing through the mind. So a balanced state of mind is sattva. Rajas is like a very agitated state. Tamas is a very lethargic state. So this I can give you with an example of how the person reacts and how he can manage himself better. So if a snake is seen, a vata person jumps. He doesn't know what to do. He just creates panic around the situation. But a pitta person goes to call somebody who can catch it. Kapha person says, please make sure that it is a snake and not a. So he is so lethargic, he jumps without acting to the situation. And a kapha people acts proactively looking for what needs to be done. So if we identify any situation, if we identify what our responses, the next time we can convince ourselves to react in a different way. So rather than anxiously running, jumping, we can say, okay, there is a snake. We need to just find out things, what has to be done. And that is counseling of a rajas person to get into the sattva. And again, for a kapha, he needs to be proactive, saying that, okay, see whether it is a rope or a snake, rather than telling that, he needs to proactively go see what it is and act accordingly. So that way, the lethargy in the body or a kapha predominance in the body can be managed in a So manage your body through the transformation of the mind. So I have just listed down the features which we were discussing with the gunas. So a Vata person, like I don't say a Vata person, a Vata predominant person has these natures. They have lean body appearance. They have a dry voice, dry skin, and dry hair. So they should not complain. Once they know that that is their nature, they should start identifying it and try to correct. Less or disturbed sleep, quick in action, quick in walking, they are very talkative. If their thoughts are moving at very high speed than what it really has to move. Unsteady in their movements, it could be any movement, prominent movement of the joints with sound. So there is always a crackling sound because of the predominance of Vata, the Kapha is less. Kapha gives the lubricating thing. So when the Kapha is less, as example of a hinge in a door, it gives. So Vata person always needs regular abhyangas to manage. And then cracks in the heels, cracks in the skin because the dryness, and they are intolerant towards the food because their body temperature is cool, and they have predominant tendons, veins in the joints. The aspects of the mind that we need to change is being less anxious, depression, a feeling of insecurity, restless, and being unstable. Similar with the Pitta predominant, they are medium built and like height, weight, they are all medium. Pitta people fall into a very good category. Skin is reddish to yellow, they're soft, greasy, warm. The tendency to form the skin blemishes is very easy in a Pitta person. And they are prone for premature graying of hair. The nails are flexible paint. They put on weight easily, but they also tend to lose weight easily because Pitta dosha is the fire. And I can say like they are more prone for the thirst. And they perspire heavily and they can have a little odor in their perspiration. So it's rather than complaining, they can have a transformation done. And exhibits a high level of self-confidence, enjoy targeted, focused work, and they are able to learn very quickly. Vata people, they learn very quickly, they forget very quickly. Kapha people, they are very slow learners. Whatever they learn, they hold on. Pitta people are moderation. They learn very quickly and also they return and they apply it very actively. They have very low tolerance level, and they are very competitive, very bossy. They get angry easily, and they have a restless mind. So the things that we need to take care in them is being aggressive, anger, jealous, and hatred. So they carry on the anger and the hatredness. It's not easy to be with the Pitta people. So the Kapha, they are very easy going. They are heavily built and they would have like good hair, good skin, it's always lustrous. And they have a slow digestion, their metabolism tends to be slow, but they have a very good immune system. And they are very tranquil, peaceful. They have good long-term memories because whatever they learn, though they learn less, they keep it with them. And they are more prone for the respiratory problems and they enjoy sleep. And they are very slow, lethargic when it comes to the exercise or any activities. So how we can help our doshas? So when there is a Vata imbalance, there is anxiety. Some of them I have listed, not everything. So anxiety, insomnia, pains, and digestive disturbances. To balance Vata, individuals should focus on warm, nourishing food because nourishing food is something which is heavy for digestion. And regular routine, hydration. Regular routine is very important because Vata people are very erratic in everything. So a regularity has to be brought into their regimen. And with the Pitta, the imbalance is generally seen as the anger, skin issues, and the digestive disturbance. And we need to focus on the cooling foods, but not cold. It is cooling foods. and practicing relaxation techniques and avoiding excessive heat. The kapha, they are more prone for congestion, the weight gain will be easier, and they are lethargic. So we need to engage them with regular exercises, and with the meals, it has to be a light meal, and they have to have something incorporating in them to quicken up their metabolism, which can be any form of spices, which is hot in nature, or having warm water, warm. Right. So we'll just go through with it quickly. So I have just taken up correlating doshas with few daily activities. So doshas with the personality. So Vata people are very creative, enthusiastic, but they are very fluctuating. So they feel everything interesting, but they don't try to complete anything fully. Pitta people are very intelligent, determined, and very competitive. Kapha people are calm, stable, and they are compassionate. So if we have to have a team created, like a group which has the predominant of all the doshas makes it a very good group. Because Vata people, they always initiate to do. Pitta people keeps that consistency in doing it. And Kapha people try to balance both Pitta and Vata and helps in maintaining teamwork. Vata and Pitta cannot maintain a teamwork. But when you have a Kapha person in the team, so the Kapha person helps in maintaining the teamwork. When it comes to the dosha and the emotions, so Vata people are always with fear and anxiety. The fear is unknown fear. Pitta, they are very angry and resentment is always there. They cannot get out of the thoughts very easily. The Kapha people, they are very much attached and they are very possessive. When it comes to the sleep, Vata people tend to have irregular sleep pattern and they are very light sleeper. But they are the people who need more sleep to balance their sleep. Pitta people, they are moderate. The Kapha people, they sleep more, but they are the ones who actually need less sleep. It's always like that. Vata and Kapha, whatever their needs are, whatever their requirements are opposite to what they are needing. And again, exercises, Vata people and Pitta people tend to do more, but actually they should moderate their exercise because if they overdo, they are aggravating their doshas. So Vata people need gentle grounding exercises to balance their Vata. Pitta people need in moderation, but Kapha people need rigorous exercises, but Kapha people tend to be lethargic. So understanding these makes us to adapt our exercise routine or whatever the small topics that we have taken up. So coming to the food part, so Vata people should eat warm food, cooked food, because anything that is warm is cold in nature and that aggravates the Vata. So generally we say for a Vata predominant person, the salads has to be less in proportion or they should avoid the salads when the Vata is very. Pitta people, they should have cooling foods and avoid too spicy, sour and salty. And if we really see, Pitta people are the ones who like this kind of food, but it is actually that they should reduce it. And Kapha people should eat less, avoid heavy meal, oily food and sweet food. And they are always the foodie. So when it comes to the yoga, the Vata people have to have like the asanas that they do should make them feel grounded. And they should get into more of the relaxation techniques. And Pitta, we have like asanas or pranayamas specific for the doshas also. So Pitta people should have the cooling poses and cooling meditations. And Kapha needs something to stimulate the intense ones. So having gone through all these, so now our perception of Ayurveda should be a little different. So we should understand Ayurveda as a way of life and incorporating what is good and giving away what is not conducive for us. And this helps in preventing the illness and promoting our positive health And that is what it has to be identified as a preventive system of healthcare. It's not like, okay, there is a health problem and I go to the doctor. So it is to promote the health, and it is a comprehensive system of healthcare. It gives aspects on everything. It's not just the medicine, it's the lifestyle, medicine, everything, whatever a person needs to have a balance, right? And I think in certain instances has to have an integrative approach, because on its alone, it might not be a complete thing. So an integrative approach is very important. So the learning for today would be manage your body by transforming your, and this is the key to the wellness or wellness, because it's the same doshas which helps us to maintain the positive health, and when the same doshas is disturbed, it causes. And for maintaining the balance, the lifestyle is very important. Thank you.
Probably let's start by that.
Clarity there, not anything.
Yes, this is like too vast a subject, and one hearing also will not be sufficient. We'll have to read.
Constantly is changing.
Constantly it's changing.
Yeah.
Send this like videos, WhatsApp, give them not a best.
Age. Newborn baby.
Yes, yes. Newborn baby also. But with that, it is difficult to identify. Because like we have measures to identify, they will not be expressing all the parameters.
I think what actions of the person.
Everything, actions, how they like it, everything will be aspect. The structure, the build, the skin, that is what we cannot identify currently. It can be identified after. For the newborns, we cannot identify it. But we can guess depending on how the motherhood was, how the parents are. We can have a rough guess, but until the age of 1 year, we can. And generally, children in that age are predominant with papa. So they get more food. So their digestive system is slow. Until the age of 14, they have this papa.
So all the individuals that we have one dosha, or it could be like
All the three doshas will be. All the three doshas will be there. Of the three, one will be predominant. What we identify.
one, but there's still also the there existing.
I think ideal was all of them was just a balance.
Balance and responsibility.
Balance.
Correct.
But on an average, he's a healthy person, but he can have some decay. What is the level of deviation? The motion you're talking
Individual. That is how I say optimal health.
Yeah.
So you will have your scores. So what is your normal capacity to digest? What is your normal tolerance? And that is what you want. And you can recognize it. Once you cross your threshold, you will feel the disturbance. So a person can eat 2 chapatis easily. This person can eat 3 chapatis easily. But person cannot eat 3 chapatis, and that is his threshold. So that is his normal. So each individual has to define what his normal is. And there is nothing like a normal for a Vata person. So everything is individual.
So yesterday's presentation and this presentation connections.
To understand the mindset. Once you understand the mindset, you can work better on any jobs. And this information on what the doshas are is very, very important to understand the relationship. Because when a person has multiple partners, so there what dosha you can correct. A person with kapha is always stable. Okay, he says, okay, whatever it is, I'm going to stay there. And pitta will always think, okay, am I a right person or not? Because his thought process is always very deep. He views in every angle. And again, even the relationship to an object. So a Vata person, if a Vata person uses the mobile, it is nothing for him. Sorry, for a Kapha person. But a Vata person, He thinks for a while and he's fine. But the Pitta person always thinks, okay, I lost my mobile. What wrong did I do to have lost it? The next time I should not do this. He will be very analytical to everything. But Kapha people, okay, I have lost this, okay, I can get it. Vata thinks for a while, but then he forgets. But Pitta people are very, so they keep nagging, repenting.
But the sum is always 100.
No,
No,
it is different for each.
no, no. Per
Okay, for you it is
if my water is compared to
correct.
that's an imbalance.
That's. And once it cross 100, it is crossing the threshold. And that's what builds up stress.
So they will put in.
Yes, yes.
Especially after the whole time, see that
This is the whole.
So one thing I have taken up some. Yeah.
It's a very good one. Oh, my. But it's a